games is officially a thing. They were at home last night.
I know.
They're taking on the Nuggets. In the second, Shabazz Napier finds Damari Carroll. Just a fantastic Euro step / travel to find Carroll. Nets on a roll. Later, Napier. Oh, they're just running. Nets bench is loving the fun. Third quarter now. What about D'Angelo Russell?
No, we got creative. It was 3 Angelo.
We did. I was going to let the graphics speak for itself.
Creative graphics.
Russell, 6 of 9 from 3. 27 points, including, as I mentioned, those 6 3-pointers. Nets have now won 10 of their last 11 home games. And the Nets drained 19 threes, tied for their second most in a game this season. It was a massive turnaround from Monday's loss against the Bucks when they shot 5 of 42, the worst mark in NBA history with at least 40 attempts.
Half-hour headlines for you now, and I consulted once again the East Bay Times this morning, and here's one for you. Durant upset with media and free agency talk, which is current and not actually a repeat from pick another day.
Yeah, well, Groundhog Day was Saturday. All right, so no need for a night at Gobbler's Knob Lodge.
Is that a thing, by the way?
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Well, we do know Kevin Durant had been silent since the Knicks traded Kristaps to Dallas. Speculation rampant. More on that in a minute. What was the speculation? Maybe Durant is a lock to go to the Knicks. He didn't want to talk about that last night through the second and third quarters. Warriors 24 of 25. They were hot. First half stretch. Warriors just wouldn't miss. Well, what does that mean, Matt, they wouldn't miss? Well, the Warriors made 14 consecutive field goals from the 4:12 mark left in the second until 6:28 in the third. They literally didn't miss. 7 of 7 from the free throw line, outscored the Spurs by 16 points in that time. 12 of 14 consecutive field goals were made from inside the paint. Again, they just wouldn't miss. The actual miss, Draymond Green gets a wide open look from beyond. Leave it to Draymond. Green misses the uncontested 3. Warriors' first miss since they went on the run. And then Steph and Clay, they were vintage splash, 6 of 6 to lead the team during the entire run. Kevin Durant, a team-high 7 assists. 13 of the 24 makes were uncontested. They outscored the Spurs by 29 points. The Warriors beat the Spurs 141 to 102. I'm saying all of this because it's a lot of numbers to digest. A picture says 1,000 words. It seemed like the Warriors scored 1,000 points over a 15-minute stretch in the second and third. Golden State, 24 of 25, 20 of those field goals assisted on, and outscored the Spurs 65 to 36 in that span. Now, as for Durant, we teased it a second ago, his media silence ended, and he was less than pleased after the game about speculation that it's a lock he's headed to New York.
I have nothing to do with the Knicks. I don't know who traded Porzingis. They got nothing to do with me. I'm trying to play basketball. Y'all come here every day, ask me about free agency, ask my teammates, my coaches, you rile up the fans about it. Y'all let us play basketball. That's all I'm saying. And now when I don't want to talk to y'all, it's a problem with me. Come on, man. Grow up. Grow up. Yeah, you, grow up. I just don't trust none of y'all. Every time I say something, it gets twisted up and thrown out in so many different publications. Try to tear me down with my words that I say. So when I don't say nothing, it's a problem.
Okay, clearly they triggered him. But anyway, LeBron was mad last night, too, because the Mavericks, who'd been working on a trade for Harrison Barnes, actually agreed to a deal during the game last night. And guess what? Barnes was playing in that game. So insert somewhat angry LeBron on Instagram. Let me guess this is cool because they had to do what was best for the franchise. They traded this man while he was literally playing in the game and he had zero idea. I'm not knocking who traded him because it's a business, but if a player wants to be traded or leaves, then he's selfish, ungrateful. But when they trade you, release you, or waive you, it's best for them. I'm okay with both. Just call a spade a spade. While you were sleeping, not just a movie, but a real-life NBA drama in which a couple of guys are calling 2 men in a truck. The Bulls got Otto Porter from the Wizards in exchange for Bobby Portis, Jabari Parker, and a future second-round pick. The Wizards also sent Markieff Morris to the Pelicans. In return, Wesley Johnson went to D.C. Notably not involved, that guy named Anthony Davis. It took 3 teams to get him on Shumpert, so the Rockets followed the flowchart on this one. Also involved the Cavaliers got Marquise Chris and a first-round pick from Houston, and the Kings got Alec Burks. And the aforementioned Barnes trade He goes to the Kings in exchange for Justin Jackson and Zach Randolph.
While you were sleeping, is that one of those Matthew McConaughey rom-coms?
I think it's Sandra Bullock, isn't it?
Yeah,
Now you got me confused.
They are run together. James Harden, you know, it runs together with him scoring binges. Last night, 7 of 9 on step-back threes in the game, his second highest percentage this season. All against the Kings, all dialed back. According to Second Spectrum, Harden only attempted 11 shots out of isolation, his fewest since December 31st, but he was 7-11 on those shots, his second best in a game this season. So as for Harden, a.k.a. the league's defending most valuable player, he's averaging 36.5 points per game this season. That's on pace to be the second highest scoring average by a defending MVP, behind Wilt Chamberlain and ahead of Kareem and MJ.
And yes, it is, in fact, Sandra Bullock.
Not Matthew McConaughey.
No, and Peter Gallagher,
Okay.
if my movie knowledge is anything.
So now you can finish your cereal and go to work. That'll do it for your half-hour headlines.
Quick question. Has James Harden yet had a temper tantrum this season?
Fine question, Nicole.
We go now to Greeny. Maybe they have an answer. Jalen Rose, Greeny in New York. Good morning, friends.
Good morning, guys. We will try and answer it. We're sitting here just sort of kicking it around as we go. You showed it, all the Kevin Durant rant yesterday after a huge Warriors win, all the speculation about his free agency. What is your first takeaway?
Really emotional, really sensitive, taking it really personal. It comes with the territory. It's a part of your job. You actually get compensated for speaking to the media. You actually get compensated by the NBA when television networks broadcast the games that you play. This allows players to make the mega salaries that come with playing a game that they love. So it's not gonna just be show up and play basketball and never talk to the media, never acknowledge the fans. It just doesn't work that way.
Understood. Do you think that this is a problem excuse me, that impacts them on the floor? Obviously, he can say things after the game. They won huge. Is this a problem that at any point winds up being an issue on the floor?
I don't think it's an issue on the floor. I think it just gives them an edge. He is one of the top players in the league.
Yeah.
And if he's on edge about something and it's going to make him play a lot better, be more efficient, then that's good for the Golden State Warriors. They played an amazing game against San Antonio yesterday. They were really efficient, and he helped lead the way.
Yeah, we have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about this as well. We will get into it. We have Laura Rutledge here, Bobby Carpenter, lots of football to get to, a cast of many, and we're getting you ready on this huge deadline day in the NBA. All that and a whole lot more. We are 24 minutes away from Get Up here on ESPN. Right now, let's get back up to Bristol.
Engaged with the Lakers that much, but kept putting out publicly all these trade offers so that we saw last night it would ruin their team chemistry, at least temporarily, disrupt all their young guys, make things miserable for them.
It's not just possible, it's what happened.
You think so?
I don't know. I know that the Pelicans had a method to their madness in the way this went.
That was pretty good.
Did they
Well
know it was going to lead to a 40-point loss because everybody's upset? Not necessarily. If the Lakers had drafted De'Aaron Fox instead of Lonzo Ball, and I don't want to get into all that, if they had the assets that would make Anthony Davis
Donovan Mitchell
available, they would. The Pelicans would make a trade with them. I've never, in 16 years covering the NBA, I've never seen anything like this. It's fascinating, and it's not even about the trade. It's about everything that's going on around the trade.
Ah, yes, drama in L.A. Dave McMenamin, he's been following the Lakers, joins us this morning. McMenamin, I want you to take us inside that young locker room with the Lakers. How are the players handling all of this uncertainty surrounding the trade deadline?
Well, Matt, I'm not going to suggest that they're so fragile that they're just crumbling at the thought of being traded, but what you see on the court right now, the product does not look like a cohesive team. And this was the same team that at one stretch early on in the season won 18 out of 27 games, was the number 4 seed in the West. Now you see some slumping shoulders. You see some poor decision making. And now, I'm not saying across the board they're playing poorly. Brandon Ingram has played some of the best basketball of his career, had a career-high 36 points last week while this speculation is going on. But you know, whether it be a sophomore slump for guys like Kyle Kuzma or Josh Hart or them dealing with knick-knack injuries, they don't look like the same player they were about a month ago. And then you throw in the fact that Lonzo Ball is out rehabbing that ankle of his. This team doesn't look anything like the team that we saw in mid-December.
All right, so here's the distinct possibility. It's probably going to happen that a deal won't get done. So what lingering effect could there be with LeBron, who's got a history of players and rosters, if it doesn't get done? What could happen with this team if the deal for AD isn't done today?
Well, I guess the natural benefit that they have built into the schedule that's coming up is the All-Star break. And so these guys will get away. Some will be in Charlotte showcasing their skills. Some will be on a beach somewhere, get some time to rest their bodies, rest their mind. And then you come back and regroup. You got 25 games left, and it's a sprint towards potentially making the playoffs. They know they have the talent to do it. Around that time they expect or hope to get Lonzo Ball back, and you make a run at it. I mean, listen, if they don't get traded, they can look at what happened already this week and say, you know what, we're still in LA. Like Svi Mykhailiuk, their rookie was traded to Detroit. They're going to still be in LA if they're not traded to New Orleans today. So they can look at like, hey, we understand this is a business. Let's try to do the best we can to make this team do something this year. None of these guys have sniffed the playoffs before. That's a fun experience for a young player trying to make a name for him in this league. And they also know if we're not professional and we do get traded to our next destination, maybe our long NBA careers that we were hoping that we'd have when we were top draft picks in LA will never come to fruition. So they need to be professionals every day about it. But we'll see how these next 3 games go up until the All-Star break for the Lakers. It could still be pretty rough, but the hope is when there's a little bit of a break, they can come back feeling refocused and refreshed.
We all wait and see how this thing plays out. Dave McMenamin with us this morning. Dave, thanks.
Come on, guys. It's not rocket science. I would love to play with a lot of great players. That's just who I am.
Great look by James Davis for a two-hand jam. James to the basket. James, alley-oop, and Davis will put it down.
Look, it's not a day in the NBA if it doesn't also involve a little bit of drama. Bobby Marks is our front office insider. Okay, right now we have radio silence between the Lakers and the Pelicans. Let's play in this world where a trade doesn't get done, that there is no Anthony Davis in LA. If you are the Lakers, what is the best plan moving forward as of 3:01 today?
Patience. That's the best plan. And I think when you look at where they were in December before LeBron got hurt, they were 19 and 14. The goal was always about next summer. It wasn't about throwing the kitchen sink about Anthony Davis in late January. And this team is still good enough to get into the playoffs. I think when we get past the deadline, we are looking at the buyout market. So players like Carmelo Anthony, Wayne Ellington, Wes Matthews, those players will all of us, DeAndre Jordan possibly, those players will become available. I think Dave hit it right on the head, that get away for a week and kind of regroup. But the goal right now is this summer, if a Anthony Davis deal does not happen right now.
Okay, so that's the Lakers side of things. Let's not pretend that there isn't drama and sort of angst on the Pelicans side of thing either. Coach Gentry has said he's not going to play Anthony Davis until the trade deadline has passed. So at 3:01 today, if Davis is still in a Pelicans uniform, what should they do?
He shouldn't play the rest of the season. None. He should sit out. I wouldn't even have him practice. I would probably just send him home into the offseason. I know the NBA will probably not be happy about the rule of resting healthy players, but we're in uncharted waters. This is also a player who has to be traded 10 days ago, and this is their best trade asset moving forward. So you can't put him on the court to risk an injury and then all of a sudden to depreciate his value. So if I was New Orleans, he is home for the rest of the summer.
He does have an injury. He's been cleared to practice, but we could drag out this finger injury for a while. That is our front office insider, and you'll be with us all morning, Bobby, because, look, the trade deadline is here. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern today. We've got you covered across the board. SportsCenter is live with you until 1 p.m. Eastern, and then those guys, The Jump, the trade deadline special, they pick things up at 1 o'clock and take you through the deadline. So if anything happens, when it does happen, we've got you covered.